Chichetam Tapatam Yena Bhutales Ramapakadamyam Dadanti Svanapadantikam. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravanya Pacharane Nirvishesha Singhavadi Paskachaya Desatarane. So, today we will be speaking on the guru-disciple relationship. And what's on the screen is a lecture given by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada in 1973 on that subject matter. And he starts with chanting the mantras Om Ajnana Timrandasya Chinansana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I'm born in the darkest ignorance, and my Guru, my spiritual master, opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. So Prabhupada continues, the word Ajnana means ignorance or darkness. If all the lights in this room immediately went out, we will not be able to tell where we or others are sitting. Everything would become confused. Similarly, we are all in darkness in this material world, which is a world of tamas or ignorance, or tamas or timira, Prabhupada says, means darkness. The material world is dark, and therefore it seems it needs sunlight or moonlight for illumination. However, there is another world, the spiritual world, that is beyond this darkness. That world is described by Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 15.6. Nata pasayata kshuryo na sasanka na pavaka Yat-yatva nanivartante tadama paramam mama. That the boat of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by electricity. One who reaches it never returns to this material world. So, Prabhupada says here, in the spiritual world, all the planets are self-effulgent. That is 1,000 times more brighter than the sun. But the material world is a world of darkness. So the spirit soul is covered by a subtle and a gross body belonging to this material world, and it's in darkness by these coverings. But the natural situation of the soul is that he's not in darkness, that he has all realized knowledge. So we have this transcendental, that this realized transcendental knowledge is within ourselves, but it has now become covered. Our original consciousness, Krishna consciousness, has been covered by the modes of nature, and therefore has become contaminated. And we have to remove this covering. And the Guru's business is to help us to remove this covering. So at present, Prabhupada said, everyone is suffering due to ignorance, just as one contracts a disease out of ignorance. If one does not know the hygienic principles, he will not know what will contaminate him. Therefore, due to ignorance, there is infection, and we suffer from disease. A criminal may say, I do not know the law, but he will not be excused if he commits a crime. Ignorance is no excuse. Similarly, a child, not knowing that fire will burn, will touch the fire. The fire does not think this is a child, and he does not know, I will burn. No, there is no excuse. Just as there are state laws, there are also stringent laws of nature, and these laws will act despite our ignorance of them. If we do something wrong out of ignorance, we must suffer. That is the law. Whether the law is a state law or a law of nature, we risk suffering if we break it. So the Guru's business is to see that no human being suffers in this material world. So Prabhupada said there are material laws of nature, but there are also the subtle laws of religion. And this subtle, because we are in ignorance, we are ignorant of these laws. But there are the laws of God. These are the principles of religion. And they are known only by the Mahajans, by the great souls, and by the spiritual master in the disciplic succession. And the Guru's business is to enlighten us, to explain these laws, so that we can act according to these laws and remove our ignorance. So the Guru's business is to see that no human being suffers in this material world. So that's the compassion of the Guru. Like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj feels great compassion for all those who are in ignorance in this material world, thinking they are their body and trying to get some pleasure from the material world. So Prabhupada first explains, because that is a symptom of someone who gets intelligence. He asks the question, why am I here? Who am I? Why am I suffering? This is what Rupa Goswami says, but this was Sanatana Goswami. But these are intelligent questions that everyone is suffering. Prabhupada say in the material world there are three kinds of suffering: Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika. So there are miseries arising from the material body and mind, that's Adhyatmika. Then Adibhautika, suffering forced upon us by other living entities. We suffer from other living entities. Prabhupada says from ants, from mosquitoes, from flies, so many things. And then there's Adidevika, the natural elements in this world which are under control of the demigods, the devas. So there may be no rain, or there may be flood, excessive heat, excessive cold. These are all sufferings imposed upon us by nature. So these are the sufferings, and then we may ask why the living entity is suffering. That's the question. And the answer is out of ignorance. He does not think I'm committing mistake and I'm leading a sinful life. That is why I'm suffering. So the Guru's business is to rescue his disciple from this ignorance. We send our children to school to save them from suffering. If our children do not receive education, we fear that they will suffer in the future. So the Guru sees that the suffering is due to ignorance, which is compared to darkness. How can one in darkness be saved by light? The Guru takes the torchlight of knowledge and presents it before the living entity enveloped in darkness. So that knowledge relieves him from suffering of the darkness of ignorance. That now Srila Prabhupada quotes he quotes from the Mundaka Upanishad, and he quotes that many times. He said, accepting a goal is absolutely necessary. You cannot make spiritual advancement on your own. You need a living goal, and for different reasons. But he quotes from the Mundaka Upanishad, Tat vijnanartam sagarum eva bhagachet samitpani arotriyam brahma nishta. This verse says one must accept a bona fide spiritual master. It's a must that because we have the Bhagavatam, we have the Bhagavad Gita, we have the knowledge. We have also Bhaktivedanta, the Bhaktivedanta purpose of Prabhupada. But the Bhaktivedanta purpose are more important than the verses. Because the purports explain how to apply it in our lives. And the Guru guides the disciple. Because he can guide the disciple, because a Guru must be on the liberated platform. He has attained liberation. He has done it. And he can explain to others how to do it. He knows the challenges and how to deal with the challenges, how to make spiritual advancement. You cannot become a medical doctor just by studying the books. It's not possible. You must learn it from one who is expert in medicine. You cannot become a surgeon just by studying the books. You cannot say, I study the books, I'm going to do my first surgery now. No, it may be the patient may not survive. No, it's just not theoretical knowledge. You can, the same thing, you cannot learn to play a musical instrument just theoretically. You must learn it from a master who is advanced in this music, and he will explain you and teach you. So we need a teacher. Also, the spiritual master, an important function of the spiritual master is the spiritual master must know the nature of the disciple and must advise the disciple to engage according to his nature. So that's important. Therefore also we need the guidance of a spiritual master. So we continue. The Vedas enjoin us to seek out the Guru. Actually, they say seek out the Guru, not just the Guru, the Guru. The Guru is one because it comes in disciplic succession. The Guru is one because he is one with the previous Gurus and is one with Krishna in the sense that he teaches the same. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the Guru teaches the same without any alteration. Prabhupada said the Guru is like a postman, transcendental postman. The postman delivers the letter as it is. He does not open the letter and change it. He just repeats, he just delivers it as it is. So the spiritual master presents Krishna's teachings as Krishna presented them, without any change. But he explains also how to bring that in practice in your particular time, place, and circumstances. And he teaches you according to his own realization. But they are teaching the same, therefore they are one. There is no difference between the two instructions. What Vyasadeva and Krishna taught 5,000 years ago is also being taught now. There is no difference between the two instructions. Although hundreds of thousands of acharyas come and gone, the message is one. The real Guru cannot be two, for the real Guru does not speak different from the predecessors. Some spiritual teachers say, in my opinion, you should do this, but that is not a Guru. Such a so-called Guru are simply rascals. The genuine Guru has only one opinion, and that is the opinion expressed by Krishna, Vyasadeva, Arjuna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Goswamis. So there is no alteration. One Guru repeats the same as the previous one, and the same as Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada presents Bhagavad Gita as it is, as Krishna intended it. So the genuine Guru has only one opinion, and that is the opinion expressed by Krishna, Vyasadeva, Narada, Arjuna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Goswamis. 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, and Vyasadeva recorded it. Srila Vyasadeva did not say, this is my opinion. Rather, he wrote, Shri Bhagavana Vacha, that is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead says, whatever Vyasadeva wrote was originally spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Vyasadeva did not give his own opinion. Consequently, Srila Vyasadeva is a Guru. He does not misinterpret the words of Krishna, but transmit them exactly as they were spoken. If we send a telegram, the person who delivers the telegram does not have to correct it, edit it, or add to it. He simply presents it. That's the Guru's business. The Guru may be this person or that, but the message is the same. Therefore, it is said that Guru is one. And then Prabhupada quotes the supreme instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madjai mam namaskara. Mamma vaishas yuktvaivayam atmanam mat parayam. Engage your mind to me, thinking of me, become my devotee, offer my obeisance, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So these very instructions were reiterated by all the acharyas, such as Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The 6 Goswamis also transmitted the same message, and we are simply following in their footsteps. There is no difference. We do not interpret the words of Krishna by saying, in my opinion, the battlefield of Kurukshetra represents the human body, Such interpretations are set forth by rascals. In the world, there are many rascal gurus who give their own opinion, but we can challenge any rascal. A rascal guru may say, I'm God, or we are all God. That is all right, but we should find out from the dictionary what the meaning of God is. Generally, a dictionary tells us that the word God indicates a supreme being. Thus, we may ask a guru, are you the supreme being? If we cannot understand this, then we should give the meaning of supreme. And dictionary will inform us supreme means the greatest authority. We may then ask, are you the greatest authority? Such rascal guru, even though proclaiming himself to be God, cannot answer such a question. God is a supreme being and the highest authority. No one is equal to him or greater than him. Yet there are many guru gods, many rascals who claim to be supreme. Such rascals cannot help us escape the darkness of material existence. They cannot illumine our darkness with the torchlight of spiritual knowledge. So especially the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, who think that God is Brahman, they think we are all Brahman, so we are all God. That is, and that kind of philosophy is all pervading in India, and all over the world. Also in other religions, you find that you have these rascals. That so the bona fide guru will present what the supreme guru, God, says in bona fide scripture. A guru cannot change the message of the disciple, of the disciplic succession. And then the importance is stressed by Prabhupada of the Guru Parampara. A spiritual master must be in the Guru Parampara, and he quotes, of course, the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Evam parapraptam imam rajarsayo vidu sakale nea mata yohu nasta prantapam. This supreme science was thus received to the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. So it is said here, taking on a guru is not simply a fashion. We see that also in ISKCON many times devotees want to get initiation, because then they get a spiritual name, they get a status. They are devotees, members of ISKCON. But what is this guru relationship? That accepting initiation, but then you must act in a relationship with the guru after initiation. That means from the moment that you take initiation, vyavsatmika buddhi ekanako nandana. All your intelligence should be in one point. Is pleasing the guru, means follow the instructions of the guru. But the instructions of the guru are the instructions of Krishna. There's no difference if the guru is bona fide. If the guru is not bona fide, we should not accept that guru. But so the guru is Krishna's representative. And in our movement, especially Srila Prabhupada is the main representative of Krishna, and all the ISKCON gurus are representatives of Prabhupada, and through Prabhupada, they are representatives of Krishna. that Krishna says that all acharyas are his representatives. That we will hear more about that a little further. Therefore, the Guru should be offered the same respect as one would offer to God. That we sing that every moment. Every morning when we pray the Govastakam, the eight stanzas glorifying the activities of the spiritual master. There is a Saksha Daritvena Samastra Sastra Uktastata Bhavyata Eva Sadbir Kinto Prabho Yapriya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinam. Means the Guru is Saksha Dari, is the representative of Krishna. That so is not God, is the representative, because is ambassador, the representative, it should be given the same respect as given to God. That yeah, and then it's quoted here, the next verse of Govastakam, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. So by the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. So that is Krishna's system. You cannot approach Krishna directly. You must surrender to his representative. And that means in that way you surrender to Krishna. Thus, if we surrender to the bona fide Guru, we surrender to God. God accepts one surrender to the Guru. So that's the same. Then it said here, someone may argue, where is Krishna? I shall surrender to him. But no, the process is that we first surrender to Krishna's representative. Then we surrender to Krishna. Therefore it is said, Saksha Daritvena Samastra Sastra. The Guru is as good as God. When we offer respect to the Guru, we are offering respect to God. Because we are trying to be God conscious, it is required that we learn how to offer respect to God, to God's representative. In all the Shastras, the Guru is described to be as good as God. But the Guru never says, I'm God. The disciple's duty is to offer respect to the Guru, just as you offer respect to God. But the Guru never thinks, my disciple are offering me the same respect they offer to God. Therefore, I've become God. So as soon as he thinks like this, he becomes a dog instead of God. So therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Kintu Prabhu Yapriyaiva Tasya. That because he's the most confidential servitor of God, the Guru is offered the same respect that we offer to God. God is always God. Guru is always Guru. As a matter of etiquette, God is a worshipful God, and Guru is a worshipper of God, Sevaka Bhagavan. Therefore, the Guru is addressed as Prabhupada. The word Prabhu means Lord, and Pada means position. This Prabhupada means one who has taken the position of the Lord. That's the same as Saksha Daritvanasta, Samastra Sastra. Only if we are very serious about understanding the science of God is Guru required. So that is important. Prabhupada says, makes very important points here. In one lecture, because what does it mean? Very serious about understanding the science of God. In a lecture, Prabhupada said, before one should ask for initiation, one should be thoroughly convinced that there is no love in this world. the so-called love is lust. That they should they should be thoroughly convinced that there is only suffering in this world. So that means before taking initiation, one must hear from the spiritual master. One must hear the scriptures. So that one becomes convinced, I need to go. And I will take shelter of the goal. It's a very serious commitment. I remember Bhakti Sharmaj, my Guru Maharaj, at an initiation ceremony, as he said, I don't mind taking all your karma, he said to the new disciples. But I just want that you have become very serious in your spiritual life. So that is the attitude of a bona fide disciple. So we should not take too quick initiation, but hear from the spiritual master, and also become convinced that this spiritual master can help me. That it is not just that I feel inspired by this person, by this guru, and therefore I'm going to take initiation. Because he has charisma. No. You must hear his instructions, apply his instructions, and see how effective it is, and be convinced this spiritual master can help me. That it's not just feeling inspired. Because now you feel inspired, and then a few years later, you don't feel inspired anymore because you have an offensive attitude or whatever, and then you reject the guru because there is no inspiration anymore. That should not be the guideline. The guideline should be you hear the instructions, you apply them, and you see how it goes. Of course, it is Brahmanda Brahmite Konya Bhagavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadi by Bhakta Lata Beach. That's this verse of spoken by Lord Chaitanya. He said, Brahmanda Brahmite, we go up and down in this universe. And when one becomes Bhagyavan, becomes fortunate, then by the mercy of Krishna, he brings you in contact with a bona fide guru. And the guru will give you Krishna in seed form. But it's Krishna who brings you in contact with a bona fide guru. Sometimes we think, who is my guru? You have to be patient. When you hear from the spiritual master, you will know that you will get the indication, because you feel these instructions are touching my heart. I'm going to apply them, and I benefit from it. It's not sentimental accepting a guru. That's a very dangerous path. That's not out of sentiment. So therefore it's just only if we are serious about understanding the signs of God is a guru required. We should not try to keep a guru as a matter of fashion. One who has accepted a guru speaks intelligently. He never speaks nonsense. That is a sign of having accepted a bona fide guru. We should certainly offer all respect to the spiritual master, but we should also remember to carry out his orders. And then Prabhupada quotes the verses from the 4th chapter of the Gita. And this is a series of verses, how this process of accepting a goal happens, and how you will make spiritual advancement by following his instructions. Of course, you have dat Vinapanapadna Paraprasna Sevya Pradekshantadekyanam Ganastat Fadakshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. This surrendered soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So that means that one approaches a spiritual master submissively. One must, before the spiritual master, we present ourselves as a fool. And in some sense, we are a fool because we are fooled by the material energy. That so we present us very humbly, and we serve the spiritual master. We have two kinds of service: vapu, vani. We can assist the spiritual master in his mission personally as a servant. That's vapu, and vani is following his instructions. Vani is the most important. Because following his instructions, that's the connection with the spiritual master. If you are not following his instructions, there is no connection. The spiritual connection is made by following his instructions in a humbly and with a service attitude. And if you follow that, then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what will happen? Yat yatva napunarmaham evan yasyasi pandava yena bhutanesh asheshani drakshasi atmai atomai. Then when you have obtained this real knowledge, then you start to see through this knowledge, and you see that all living entities in this world are parts and parcels of Krishna, and that they belong to Krishna. So you start to see everyone as a spirit soul, not as the body. You understand, the body is their contamination. And you may see that they do abominable things due to the influence of the material nature. So you start to see things as they are, so yeah, because we are separate parts of Krishna, but we are different from him. So the whole teaching of Bhagavad Gita is targeted at one point. We are Krishna's eternal servitor. That is the soul, but the living entities in Maya, they just don't realize it. And if we continue following these instructions of the spiritual master, Apsitasa Pabhyo Sarvabhyo Papakritama Sarvangana Plavenima Vrichinam Santarishyasi. Even if you are considered the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated on the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries, because following the instructions of the spiritual master, we get the mercy of Krishna, and we get realizations to the heart. And this realization means that Krishna removes our ignorance in the heart. He says that in 10:11, Bhagavad Gita. Tesham evanakampartam ammagyanatyam tamanasa jamatma bhavastu jnanatipana bhashvata. Krishna goes with the lamp of knowledge in our heart and removes the ignorance, the modes of passion and ignorance. The mode of passion and ignorance makes us think we are the body, we are the mind. But then you come factually to the realization of your real self. And when Krishna removes these anarthas, then what happens? We are on this boat of transcendental knowledge. And then Krishna says, Yadaidam so samiduknih bhashmata kotarana shekhnarni sarvakarmani bhashma shakote tata. Then Arjuna, Krishna says to Arjuna, then by that realization of that knowledge, all your karma becomes gradually destroyed. So that at that moment, the Guru will take your karma gradually as you are following the instructions of the spiritual master. It is not that during the initiation ceremony that the Guru takes all your karma. That's not in the scriptures. No, it's through the realization by following the instructions. Initiation means beginning of following the instructions of the spiritual master. And you make vows to follow these instructions. And as you follow the instructions, the Guru takes your karma. Yeah. And how does he do that? By infusing realized knowledge in your heart. That we sing that also every moment. Chakudana diloje jame jame prabhushe. Divyagan rite prokasita. Divyagan, this realized knowledge, they appears in the heart. That's what it says. You get realizations. And your karma is burnt gradually. So don't think I get initiation. The Guru takes at a fire sacrifice all my karma and we say, thank you, Guru. When I need you again, I will let you know. No, it doesn't work like that. If we follow the instructions, the Guru will take all your karma. It is by following the instructions of the spiritual master. That's the process explained here in Bhagavad Gita. So yes, anyway, that's, of course, it's more to say on that subject. So the first process is that of surrender. We have to find an exalted person and willingly surrender before him. The Shastras enjoin that before we take a Guru, we should study him carefully to find out whether we can surrender to him. So you have, Prabhupada says, you first have to test the Guru. Is this a bona fide Guru? At least for 1 year. And then another year, the Guru, and after the Guru accepts you, before the Guru accepts you as disciple, he must test you. I think in ISKCON it's 6 months minimum. And then he can accept you as disciple. Not before. So the Shastras enjoin that before we take a Guru, we should study him carefully to find out whether we can surrender unto him. So that is explained in Nectar of Instruction, text 5, in the purport. There are three levels of devotees are described. The Prakriti Bhakta, or the beginner, the Kanishta, the Madhyam, one who is already liberated, midway, and the Uttam is the self-realized devotee on the highest platform. Prabhupada says in that one should be careful to accept an Uttam Adhikar on the highest platform as guru. Because if one accepts a Madhyam Adhikar, Prabhupada said he can also accept disciples and guide disciples, but he can only bring them to their platform, to the platform they are, not higher. That, of course, in our movement, there's little more to say about this, because we are in the Vedic system. You had one guru, and this, and that was everything. That, but for us in ISKCON, it's different. Our first guru is Prabhupada. And then there's all the spiritual masters, and there are multi-gurus in our movement, not one. They represent Prabhupada. And we can take shelter of all of them, not only from the Diksha Guru. We should take shelter of all of them. And the God brothers of the Guru, we should give them the same respect as to the Guru. And take advantage of all of them. And that will help us to make spiritual advancement. And these gurus in ISKCON, nobody is on the level of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was extraordinary, empowered. Nobody is that. But all these gurus, some are bigger lamps and smaller lamps, but they are all representatives of Prabhupada. That.
Yes or no?
No.
So, I think it said my internet connection is unstable. Hopefully I can stay, but this is a very important subject matter, and I will continue this next time. And that,
Yes.
But if there are any questions, I'm happy to try to answer in the next minute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Vidyapati Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Good morning.
Lachwa.
Hare Krishna. There was an interruption of the internet.
No. Maharaj, can I don't know if you have heard the question. Shall I repeat?
I didn't get the question. It broke immediately.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, you mentioned about that we should see all the living being as a part and parcel of Krishna, and generally, often I'm fail into that, seeing people into a bodily platform, then seeing them as a spirit soul and part of Krishna. So, Maharaj, what are the practical step or process you can suggest? One can follow. We have heard many times, but I've understood, but I generally again fail that. So, how we as a devotee can practice so that we can progress and we can see everyone as a spirit soul.
Yeah, thank you. So, the first question here is that what is the vision of one who is advanced? That's explained in 518 Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinay Sampne Brahmana Kavhasni Sunshev Svapakecha Pandita Samadakshina. The learned Pandit sees the spirit soul in the body of a Brahman, a cow, a meat eater. So in the animals, elephant, everywhere. That's the vision of an Uttam Adhikar. He sees only spirit souls. But we cannot jump to that platform. There's a process to come to that platform. It's therefore that Rupa Goswami says that Krishna consciousness is a cultivation. A cultivation. It's going slowly. Slow but sure. That. Therefore, like we study the Bhagavatam, and the first thing is, why don't we see the souls in everyone? Because we cannot connect with the spiritual platform, that we have no spiritual vision. Spiritual vision is something that develops. Therefore, the Bhagavatam begins with explaining the creation. So how everything is connected with Krishna. That the creation comes from Krishna, and it is detailed explained how Krishna enters the creation and enters in every atom, and how Krishna's Paramatma is the doer of everything in this world. Yeah, I move my hands, but it's Paramatma who moves it. That Paramatma reciprocates with the desire of the soul. And so that consciousness grows gradually. And it's a cultivation every day. Every day we chant Hare Krishna and we think nothing has changed. But no, it's like you look in the mirror today and then you look in the mirror tomorrow and you think nothing changed. It's the same face. But take 10 years later and you look at a picture of today and you see your face, oh, what a difference. So day by day, little, we get that spiritual vision. So what is Krishna consciousness? Because everything is connected with Krishna in this world. And we see it as disconnected. We don't see the spirit soul. That means we are in Maya. That because it's a fact, everything is connected with Krishna. It's a process gradually to reconnect with Krishna. Krishna says you have to become a Mahatma. A Mahatma is one who knows how to connect with the spiritual energy. So that's our training. And gradually we will see more and more the connection with Krishna and Krishna's hands in everything. But it's a cultivation, and it's Utsaya, Nisaya, Dayat. We must be enthusiastic in this process, but have patience. It doesn't happen overnight. If I look myself, I started 35 years ago. Am I still the same as then? No. I'm even not the same internally as 10 years ago. It changes. But it's going slow, but sure. Does that help, Vidya Patikam?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay. Then we'll meet next week, because I will now continue chanting my rounds, and then I have a lecture in half an hour again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week. Hare Bo.
Hare Bo.